What's up, guys? Welcome to the New Year special. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. In this video, I wanted to show you 3 steps that will make you the best copywriter ever this year, 2025, okay? And I wanted to make them simple and easy to follow. I didn't want to make a long, extensive guide with a lot of, little steps in between. I wanted to make it clear because I've found out that copywriting, it's pure practice, okay? And the more you practice, the better you will get at it, okay? As we said in one of my old videos, I explained that productivity is time times intensity, okay? And today, I want to focus on those to make the best out of your time, okay? So you can make money ASAP. So, in this video, I will explain you how to become a good copywriter, but overall I will be focusing on productivity, okay? This video will teach you how to become a productivity machine, how I did it, how I organize my days, and how I motivate myself to have kind of like unlimited energy in order to accomplish my goals in the littlest amount of time possible, okay? Because with speed you can basically accomplish anything in life. It's the most important thing. But before we start, if you're a beginner copywriter who wants this copy reviewed, advice from successful copywriters who already made it, and overall you want to max out your chances of making it big, don't miss out on this, because starting on January 1st, my free Discord community is gonna explode in value, and it's gonna turn into the best place for copywriters to grow, network, sharpen their skills, share their wins, and get insight that will turbo speed your learning and get you ready for clients ASAP. We're Nick and Presley, two extremely successful copywriters from the US and the UK with loads of experience on their back, will be joining me in giving you the craziest copy community in the game for free. So join today and start winning with us. Link in the description. So without further ado, I got high tech. I got a fucking laptop, phone, the microphone in the sock. Maybe this year I'll get a new microphone, and I got a tablet which I can draw on. So you'll be seeing this. And that's cool. So, step number 1, I call it count hours and make hours count, okay? And this may seem or sound very philosophical or like complicated, but it's really simple. Let me explain. A month ago, I was in a call with a friend, and he was explaining to me how he organizes his day and how he has been recently slacking off and hasn't been able to be as productive as he would have liked to, right? And I asked him, how do you organize your day, okay? What do you do? And he told me, okay, first thing I wake up in the morning, I organize my day, and I have kind of like a checklist, okay? So I have task 1, I have task 2, I have task 3, and during the day, I just check them off. And this system is quite popular, especially in this like productivity YouTube guru thing, meditation and stuff. And a lot of people do it. They set up a calendar and every day they make a schedule. And I'm not against this. But last year, when I was in a really, really stressed out situation, I had to figure out a plan to pass my exams. Because I had like all my semesters in 2 months, and I had to basically study like crazy for 3 months, 12 hours a day, and I couldn't afford to miss a single second. So I believe that we humans invent the best things when we are under pressure, and when I was in that situation, I came up with this system, okay, this new system, and it's pretty simple, but it showed that I was doing the things that I needed to do that day, and also giving me dopamine and a lot of motivation to continue going on. And it's not the task method, okay? The thing with the task method is that it's very, very focused on the present. It's about the present day. So today you did good. Tomorrow you'll do good. The next day you'll do good. It's very like this day, right? But if you have ever read the book called Atomic Habits, you'll know that in life, success and all that good stuff is never linear. It's exponential. So if this is time and this is success, it doesn't come like this, okay? Never. It usually comes like this. And you think it goes like this. And this thing, it's called the valley of giving up, feeling like shit because you're not achieving what you're supposed to achieve in your mind. We can all agree that effort or like productivity compounds, right? So every day counts. And what the task method is not doing is taking into account all the days that you've worked your ass off in the past. Okay, you're focused too much on the present, and it's really easy to just wake up and just not want to do that thing because you just feel like again, especially because when you are checking off tasks, you're treating them like a task. And I don't think there's ever been a time in history where humans liked the word task. We never liked that shit. We like feeling productive and stuff, but we never liked the word task. So with this method that I invented, you change the word task with like a video game style kind of like productivity. Let me explain. Basically, instead of counting like tasks that I do in a day, I count the hours. Okay? So essentially I have a timetable, so it's like, today, and I'll check off like, 8 hours. And tomorrow, and here you set up the date, 7 hours. And that other day, maybe 11 hours. With this method, what I wanted to do was transition it from looking at things as tasks to looking at things as a reward for my efforts, right? So instead of tasks, I count the hours that I do work in the day, okay? So as you will be seeing on the screen right now, I use Excel and I have a counter for all the hours that I've studied, and I check in my hours every day as if I was clocking in into work. And when I say count your hours and make your hours count, I mean make your hours count. Okay, so don't just start a timer and just count your hours and don't do anything productive and just feel kind of like mental masturbate and feel good about yourself. No, you need to give it your all. Okay, it needs to be deep work, so it needs to be like 8 hours of deep work and you write them in. Okay, and this is kind of associated to Pomodoro. I will be talking about that later. But I found out that if you have a graph like this on Excel that you can really easily make, if you just use the date and you just put in the hours, and on Excel you will get a graph like this, okay? And I found out that it's really motivating to see a graph because you're seeing the progress that you've made, and it is really, really rewarding. And the best part is that if you just wake up and you see your graph going up, you will feel really bad about slacking off that day and, let's say, doing 0 hours, because if you just clock in 0 hours this day, the graph will look like this. And it doesn't matter if the next day you go crazy and you do like 12 hours. The graph will always have that issue in it. So it's really, really good at keeping you accountable and making you work every single day to kind of like keep the graph up. You know what I mean? And it's especially rewarding when you finish a year and you've seen a graph that was always up. It's like, fuck, I've earned this. So kind of setting up a daily, like instead of saying a daily set of tasks, it's like, okay, because if you set of tasks, you'll be thinking, okay, what should I do first? How should I do this? What should I start doing right now? What is more optimized and stuff? But instead, I count the hours, because when you start the hour, you just start a timer and you're like, okay, what should I do now? And your brain will tell you instantly what you should be doing, because a perfect action now with the mid plan is better than action tomorrow with a perfect plan. Okay, this is all about action. My channel is all about taking action. So with the hours thing, you're taking action. You're kind of like improvising on the spot, and things will come naturally and flow, especially if you are used to working in a deep work environment. So just work a set amount of hours a day. I like to go and aim for 12 a day. I think that's the best. Maybe some days you can do 14 on 16 if you're crazy and you just do it while you eat. But essentially having like a daily kind of like amount of hours you're aiming towards is really motivating. I found that really motivating, especially when you kind of like count the hours on a certain skill. Because let's say you count the hours on copywriting, okay, the hours you practice copywriting. They say for a skill you need like 10,000 hours to perfect it, but fucking hell, with 500 hours you can be really good, especially if you're just beginning in copywriting, because it's really easy to pick up. So I find it really motivating to know the amount of hours, like if it was like a Steam game like CSGO, because in CSGO I have like 3,000 hours, and it's really rewarding to me. And I found that if you treat kind of like copywriting like a video game, it'll be much more addictive to just be productive. So take that as you will, try it. I have an Excel template that you can copy down in the description, and it's really easy to make a graph. You just clock in the hours, simple as that. Okay, step number 2, use Pomodoro, okay? This is really linked to step number 1, but essentially Pomodoro, apart from being like a type of cheese, I think, in Italy, is this technique that a Japanese guy invented, I think, of working 30 minutes with 5-minute breaks, okay? There's variations. I don't like the 30 minutes one because I found that I concentrate better for an hour, but actually I do the 50 minutes with 10-minute breaks. Okay, you can do 5-minute breaks if you're not that tired, because I found out that essentially if this is time and this is concentration, I'm making a lot of graphs today, you should pay me for this. Concentration, I don't know if I spelled that right. Basically your concentration kind of like goes like this, and then at around minute like 50 it just drops. Okay, that's why in classes you do breaks. And so it doesn't matter if you go like 5 hours in, because your concentration levels will be really depleted, right? That's why you need a break. But don't confuse a break with like slacking off, okay? The break is simply for your brain to kind of like take some gas in. And essentially they found out that you only need 5 to 10 minutes to kind of like reset your brain and get ready for another session of deep work. So I like to do 50 minutes and 5 to 10 minutes of break. Now the break is really important because it's not the same to do one thing or the other. So during the break, you basically the no list, basically the things you don't know when to do under any circumstances. Basically use your phone. Okay, this is prohibited, and surf the internet or whatever, because when you are doing these breaks, you want your brain to chill and relax, and you want to stay focused on studying. So your brain is in a constant battle of dopamine. Okay, this is hardwired in your brain. Since prehistoric times, we have been chasing dopamine. Okay, it's hard to get out of bed because being in the bed gives you much more dopamine than studying. Okay, so essentially your brain is constantly deciding what to do. If you are flooding your brain with these sources of dopamine, it will be so hard to go back to studying. You will be so demotivated to do it, and you will not want to do it even though you have a gun pointed at your head. Okay, you will hate it. So the trick is to make breaks boring, or I would say unengaging. Okay, because it's not really boring to just relax. It's just kind of like plain and engaging. So essentially, during a break, you want to like, I don't know, stare at the wall, or like walk around your room, or like meditate, or just talk to somebody, like talk to a friend for like 5 minutes. This is really useful if you live like in a dorm or something. You have your friends is kind of like nervous, but you want to do something that doesn't give you too much dopamine. Okay, that is enough to kind of like reset your brain and kind of like chillax you a little bit, but it's not too engaging, because one trick to study is to make your day so boring that studying is more engaging than doing nothing. You know what I mean? So working on your copy is actually interesting. So again, if you are depleting your dopamine levels with all this bullshit on your breaks, you will not want to go back to copywriting at all. So the trick is to play with your dopamine levels. As you can see with this hour thing and with this Pomodoro thing, what I'm trying to do is kind of like turn life into a video game and give you the most dopamine for studying or working on your copywriting. Okay, this is so important, especially if you want to do this for a long period of time, because you can rely on motivation, but at some point it will go back to zero, and you will have to basically be determined, and this will really help you out. Okay, so that's the second tip, Pomodoro. Okay, look into it, it's really important. with Pomodoro, you can study for like 12 hours a day because you're doing breaks. It will be really hard to study for 12 hours a day if you did like 5 hours non-stop. Okay, that's hard. Your brain will fucking hate it for it. But if you do breaks, it's gonna be like reset every hour. So it's much easier to work 12-hour days. Okay, it's really important. And step number 3, if you wanna be a copywriter, the trick is consistency. Okay, so basically, you wanna stay consistent and do this every single day, and you wanna follow a strict routine. Okay, so you're not sitting there thinking, what should I do? What should I do? You know what to do. You just get into it. Okay, action. So, for copywriting, if you're really busy, you maybe have 4 hours. If you're not that busy, you maybe have 8 hours. So, I will do for both patients because I know some of y'all have a 9 to 5. I study engineering, so I don't have that much time either. So, I'm an empath and I want to help you guys. Okay, so the routine goes like this. You want to practice copy by reviewing copy, okay? And then you want to write copy. It's as simple as that, okay? Literally review copy and then write copy. This is supposed to be a pen, okay? I'm not the best at drawing. So, by reviewing copy, you'll be seeing pros work, like A-list copywriter work, and I think this settles the image of what good copy looks like much better in your head than like reading books, because yeah, you will need to kind of like study some theory at the beginning. I recommend you read some books into it, but after that it all comes down to practice. And by reviewing copy on pages like swipe.co or other swipe files, or just on the internet, some sell pages that you like, you'll be building like a catalog of what good copy looks like in your head, and it will be much easier in the future for your brain to think, oh, that person did that, oh, that person did that, I can mix that together, I can blend it together in my sales page, I can do the best sales page ever because I've written down and analyzed so many sales pages. I know them by heart. Okay, and write copy, because if you don't do it, it doesn't count. So by writing copy, I mean literally sitting down on a Google Doc and writing copy. If you're beginning, you shouldn't outreach until you've written some copy, obviously, because you're not ready to get paid for it. So just write some Google Docs about imaginary products or people who may need it on the internet. And then this is really blended in with one of my past videos about outreach, where I explain the best outreach method. Go watch it. But basically, if you haven't seen that video, the outreach method consists on giving out free value, because people will love it for it, and they will trust you, and they will see that you put in work and you really want to work with them, right? So you can practice writing copy by doing outreach with free value. And how this works is, even if you give somebody some free value in the first message, like, hey, I wrote you 5 YouTube titles for your views to go up, or I rewrote your about page, or I did this caption for you, or this script for you, so you can save some time this week. Even if you do that and they don't see it, you will have practice. So you have technically not even losing time, because you are going to practice regardless. Listen, guys, a lot of you come to me with all these questions, and the simplest answer to most of them is get better at copy, okay? A lot of you guys, you are doing the right outreach, you are doing the right follow-us up, you're doing some warm outreach, you're being friendly, you're not weird, your profile looks right. The thing is, your copy is not good enough yet. If your copy was good enough, you could have a fucking shit emoji as your profile picture, and you will probably get racks either way. So get better at copy if you want your outreach to be more successful. And how you do that? Again, the cycle: review copy, write copy, review copy, write copy, review copy, write copy, over and over and over and over and over and again, with the methods that I told you, the Pomodoro method and the hour method. If you do that, in a month you can become like a fucking pro at this. Okay, if you look at the good copywriters that have gotten good at this, They were crazy. They were like 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, delved into this, into the mud, writing copy, reviewing copy, writing copy, reviewing copy. The cycle didn't stop until they went to sleep. Okay? So, you literally, this is the key, guys. There's no secret. This is the key to get better at copy. It's literally repetition. If you skateboard, yeah, you may watch some videos at slow-mo, how to do an ollie or a flip. But how do you actually do an ollie or a flip? You go there and you repeat it 1,000 times until you get it. If you are a pro basketball player, how do you get better at dunks? You do 1,000 dunks in the court, off match, when nobody's watching, until you get better, and then you can show off in the match. It all comes down to repetition, guys. There's no secret recipe or trick that I can give you if you don't do this. Okay, this is the most important thing. So, if you promise yourself this 2025 is your year, you're not gonna give up until you reach this goal. And you actually use this hour method. So you have a graph every day, and the graph doesn't go down, and you go from 8 hours to 12 hours a day. And you use the Pomodoro technique with 50 minutes with 10-minute breaks, so you can study for 12 hours a day uninterrupted. And you do the review copy and write copy technique. And if you have 4 hours, you dedicate 2 to reviewing copy and 2 to writing copy. And with 8 hours, it's kind of the same. You dedicate 4 to reviewing copy and 4 hours to writing copy with the average method. If you do this, guys, there's no way you will fail. Okay, you just need to be patient with the snowball effect and everything to compound together. But this is the key. Okay, I cannot stress this enough. Okay, a lot of people, they come to me with questions, and most of the time the answer is just put more hours in. Literally, just put more hours in. Okay, and use this Pomodoro technique so you can give it your all, your 100% brain. Because remember, after 50 minutes, your energy depletes and you will stop being so productive. So you need to take breaks. But if you do all these things correctly, I'm going to I bet on everything in this world you will get good at copywriting and get a client. Okay, but you just need to get obsessed with this. Okay, obsession is the key. Obsession is the thing that will leave you uninterrupted, working 12 hours a day for 3 months, don't give a fuck, not talk to nobody until you get into this, right? So getting obsessed is the key. And it's really, really easy to slack off. You just live with your parents and there's no pressure and you're just doing this as a hobby. But you need to kind of like put yourself in the mindset of giving it your all, like full go mode. You need to think that if you don't do this and you don't get money, you're gonna end up in the street under a fucking bridge or something. Okay? Time is going by. You're not gonna be young forever. You need to get money now. Okay? So you need to be obsessed with copywriting. That's the key. I found out copywriting 4th of August, and I've been obsessed ever since. This is all I think about every day. That's how you need to be if you want to get good at this skill. Because the 12-hour day works are going to be really tough if you're not obsessed with this, especially when money's not coming in. Because the most you will work is when you're not making any money, when you're a freebie. So you need to think that the next outreach could be the one that changes your life, and just go crazy, go robot mode, like not even have emotions about it. Because if you have emotions and people don't respond, you're gonna give up. You need to just trust, like put a blindfold of faith over your eyes, as I said in my past video, and just go crazy. And that's the trick, guys. That's literally how you become a copywriter on the 2025. Okay? And think about it as a race, if that motivates you, because some of you are going to see this video and some of you are going to dedicate yourself into this task until you become a fucking master at it, 12 hours a day, don't give a fuck, and maybe by the end of January you've gotten 2 clients, who knows, and maybe somebody else on the video could have gotten those clients, but they got stolen by the best copywriters. So think of this as a race against all the other viewers. Use that as motivation. Use that as fuel. Think they're coming for your ass, and just you need to get quicker. Okay? But again, there's no better method than this. Okay? I use this for studying. I use this for copywriting. This is how I got my copywriting clients. I was crazy. I was 12 hours a day indulging into this, sending freebies to people with the free outreach method, free value outreach method, until I got clients. That's how I did it. In 2 months, I was getting clients. So what are you waiting for? Clients are waiting for you. You decide if you wake up tomorrow and you study for 10 hours. Those are things that you decide, okay? It's only under your control. I cannot get you out of bed and get you to do 10 hours of work. It all comes down to you, okay? So, it's New Year's. It's time to make promises to yourself and all that stuff. So, make it a promise to just become obsessed with copywriting, okay? Eat, sleep, and fucking breathe copywriting until you make the money. Okay? Think about it. The quicker you work and the most hour you put in, the quicker you will get clients and money, and you will escape this hail of not getting clients and not getting responses. Think about it this way. Somebody who works 1 hour a day and somebody who works 10 hours a day, right? You have two people. This is Jimmy and this is Peter, I don't know. Think about it this way. It's going to take 10 days for Jimmy to do 1 day of Peter. Okay, Peter gets done more in 1 day than Jimmy in 10 days. A third of a month versus a day. Think about it that way. 10 hours a day. This is literally like a time machine glitch. Bro, when I had to study so much, I couldn't sleep. I would study 16 hours a day. 16 hours a day because I thought, okay, if normally I study 8 hours a day, if I study 16 hours a day, I study while I fucking eat. It's like I duplicated my day because I studied 8 hours 2 times. So it's just like getting free time out of nowhere, okay? So think about it this way. Think about when you are working 1 hour a day and slacking off, you're Jimmy. Peter is here working 10 hours a day and is doing one of your days in 10 days. Now that translates, think about it exponentially. He's taking 10 days to imitate 100 days of yours. Isn't that crazy? I don't know, just think about it, okay, for a little while. Let it sink in. Because this is your competition. So, this 2025, promise yourself to become obsessed with this thing, and I promise you're gonna get good, you're gonna get clients before you thought it was possible, okay? So, without further ado, let's start this year together. Let's get this shit done. Okay, subscribe to the channel. We are a community of crazy going copywriters. We go all in. We have a Discord server in the description. You can join. We go crazy. We're every day winning there. You can join me. Start making some money with this copywriting thing finally. But you need to put yourself into the task, okay? So, as always, I'm rooting for you, okay? If you need anything, just DM me or write down a comment and I'll reply to you. And yeah, happy holidays. I hope you have a great start of the year. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.